Ma, gusto ko mag-nurse. Lost our way?
Nightingale was born to a wealthy and intellectual family. Florence was an unusual woman for her time because she didn't want to go to parties and get married. She wanted to be a nurse and help people. Florence believed that she was called by God to help others and to improve the well-being of mankind. However, her family didn't want her to become a nurse because hospitals were dirty, horrible places. They were worried about her. At the age of 24, Florence leaves the house and went to Germany and learned all about nursing. In 1847, as a well-traveled young woman of the day, she visited Kaiserswerth, where she receives 3 months training in nursing. It was hard work, but she loves it. In 1853, a lot of soldiers went to fight in the Crimean War. Army hospitals were filled with injured men. But there are no nurses, and many men died. Florence Nightingale receives a heartfelt letter requesting aid for wounded soldiers. Determined to make difference, she gathers a group of dedicated nurses. Florence and her team of nurses went to help. She recognized that poor sanitation and practices were contributing to the spread of disease and infection among the soldiers. She immediately set to work. Florence takes charge, leading her team in sanitizing and transforming the facility into a haven for healing. Florence brought the men fresh food and cleaned the hospital beds. They also provided clean bedding and clothing for the soldiers and ensures that the hospitals were well ventilated. Florence worked 20 hours a day to make the army hospital a cleaner and safer place, introducing new practices such as hand washing to prevent the spread of infection. She used clean bandages to heal the wounded. Nightingale's tireless efforts had a significant impact on reducing mortality rates among the soldiers. Florence, with a lamp in hand, walks the dimly lit corridors. Her nightly round earned her the moniker, the Lady with the Lamp, a symbol of hope and compassion. She talks to the injured soldiers and helps the men to write letters to their families.
that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom.
On March 4th, 1861, Abraham Lincoln becomes the President of the United States. At a very young age, Clara Barton has to nurse her sick older brother that lead to her embracing the nursing skill and learning the skill that she used later on. Barton was one of the first women to work for the US government in any capacity. She was a school teacher who volunteered as a nurse during the American Civil War. She started aiding the wounded Union soldiers flooding into the capital. Soon, she changed her focus into the front lines. She saw that there's a need of a fund for supply. She spends all her funds to bring them. She calls for donation from her former schools in Massachusetts and New Jersey to buy more. She organized other people to help. She earned the nickname Angel of the Battlefield when he showed up after midnight with a wagon full of supplies for the surgeon. She starts working on wounded soldier without experience, and at that moment, a bullet pierces her sleeves. She found the soldier dead in her arm. Barton launches an urgent letter-writing campaign to publicize the situation of the wounded soldiers. She would describe the battle scene that you feel you are right there, and that would inspire them to donate supplies. Due to her efforts, they began to focus more on saving the lives of the soldiers than taking it. Barton travels to Europe for her doctor boarders to rest. This didn't last long, where she met members of the International Red Cross and joined their volunteers. She brought this idea home. She felt America needed the same organization. She began the organization in 1881. That's how she formed the American Red Cross and became its head. I summon you to the comradeship in the Red Cross. Linda takes care of her husband George Paul until his death in 1869. Linda Richards learned her love in nursing as she spent time caring for her mother and father, who both contracted tuberculosis. Linda Richards was the first to enroll in the first formally trained nursing program. She was one of 5. The training was housed in New England Hospital for Women and Children. She moved to New York City, where she was hired as night supervisor nurse at Bellevue Hospital Center. While there, she developed the system for keeping the individual records of each patient, which was then used by the United States and the United Kingdom. She then enrolled in a 7-month training program in England, where she was trained under Florence Nightingale. She established first training program in Japan and supervised it for 5 years. Linda went to practice nursing in the US. Richards is known for introducing nurses' notes and doctors' orders, the practices of nursing wearing uniforms. She is credited for pioneering work in psychiatric and industrial nursing. As a student nurse, I gained profound insights into the lives of these remarkable women who shaped the course of nursing history. I will become a nurse.